South Carolina.
Madam Chair, I rise today in support of my straightforward, common sense amendment, which would specifically examine how illicit foreign money was used to carry out disinformation and propaganda campaigns focused on depressing turnout among African American and other minority communities, and the success or failure of these efforts during our recent elections. This amendment would also call for recommendations to address these concerns in future elections. Republicans and Democrats agree that foreign adversaries should never be allowed to sow discord in our political system and interfere with our electoral process. Unfortunately, in the last two elections, we saw massive misinformation campaigns launched by hostile foreign powers, and we know those efforts disproportionately targeted African American communities. Last May, the House Judiciary Committee released a trove of over 3,500 Facebook ads posted by Russia-linked accounts between 2014 and 2017. In 2015, for instance, Kremlin-backed accounts tweeted and retweeted dozens of messages manipulating the tragic mass shooting at the predominantly African American Mother Emanuel AME Church in downtown Charleston. Ads like this reached over 11.4 million people. Russia has sought to influence our democratic process by stoking racial, religious, and political differences, and this has had real consequences. African American turnout declined in 2016 for the first presidential election in 20 years, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, falling to less than 60% from a record high of 66.6% in 2012. Election security is not a partisan issue. It is essential to our democracy, and Americans deserve to have the confidence of knowing the information they seek hasn't been manipulated by foreign adversaries. Our next elections are quickly approaching, so the time to show the world that we stand united on election security is now. I ask all my colleagues, Republicans and Democrats alike, to support this amendment to protect against foreign interference in America's elections. I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. For what purpose does the gentleman from Illinois rise?
I'd like to rise to claim time in opposition, although I'm not necessarily opposed.
Without objection, gentleman's recognized.
I've had the opportunity to travel the country with my friend and colleague, Congresswoman Marcia Fudge, on the subject of the Voting Rights Act. We've heard testimony that minority turnout across the board was higher than ever. Hispanic and Asian communities jumped 13 points above the turnout levels in 2014 when compared to the 2018 election cycle. This last midterm in 2018, African American turnout jumped 11 points. I hope this trend continues, and I hope we see increased minority turnout in our upcoming elections. I'll reserve the balance of my time.
Carolina.
In closing, I urge both Democrats and Republicans to support this common sense amendment to prevent malicious misinformation and propaganda campaigns from targeting African American and other minority communities. I yield the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Illinois.
Yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The question occurs on the amendment offered by the gentleman from South Carolina. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have